Alright, so last time we ended off on about this point where we created the body of our Corsair F4U. I'd like to go over how to make these wings in this next video. You'll see they're great because FreeCAD is actually able to follow the curvature of the wing this way, to create a profile this way, and to simultaneously make both of those a airfoil profile all the way through. That's some pretty impressive modeling by FreeCAD on making wings like that. So let's go through making them here. First thing I want to do is create a datum plane. So I'll just choose a face that is normal to my, or parallel to my front plane, and choose datum plane. I'll go to my top view here and offset it in the Z direction. I'm at my Z direction there, and obviously we have to flip offsets, and I'm going to go roughly to the point where the wing is at its widest point, right about there, maybe 56 millimeters about. And I'll sketch on this plane. Notice I really need to go to my model, hide my front plane, or rather it'd be better to go to my front view, and that should be good. So finding my fillet, hiding my fillet there. I'm going to take this one sketch element at a time. I think my tangent point for my curve is about right there. So I'm going to try to get this line to end at the tangent point where this curve starts and be about dead center on that wing. I think for the right angle, and to select individual vertexes, I have to have my view on the other side, which I think would be a wonderful improvement for FreeCAD, if possible. Now, we've moved that down. We're running through about the center of our plane. I'm going to say A for angle. From here to here, I'm going to go with 23 degrees, seems alright. And I'm going to choose a distance, 29.8. That is so close to 30 millimeters. Let's go with it. Finally, I just need to add a vertical. So Shift V, vertical from here to the origin. Oh, cancel. Shift H, horizontal. Let me select that point there to there, 2.11 I guess. Back to the front view. Next, oh, and of course to sketch this I have to go to my other view. Oh, I have to go down here now. There, so just to select that point, go back to the front view, T for tangent, here to here. I'm going to see if I can make my front view. I'm going to translate this to the other side. I'm going to the back view of my part. I can still see the outline. So I'll go to my sketch again. So I'm going to make this end about dead center of my wing, and at about the tangent point. I'm going to grab this and just hit the lock for now. Let's take this out to the very tip of the wing. I guess it would be right about there. And we'll lock that. We're not tangent there, but this is a reference sketch, so we should be fine not being tangent. I'm going to go back to the front view now and exit my sketch. Looks like I already have. Double click on my front view and move my sketch back again. Now we've got a reference sketch, right? So we go to our front view. Alright, so now that we've got a line running right through the middle of our wing, I want to create a plane that will start us off for a good loft path. And I'll select, with nothing selected in my history tree, datum plane. I'll choose that line, and it already knows to attach to that edge. I'll check flip sides, and now if I go to sketch on it, you can see I want to hide my top view, and you can see it's a little bit weird because I'm looking at this at an angle, and this picture is not centered anymore. If I do center it, then anything below this axis won't be visible. So it might be just psychologically easier to look at it from the right view. I'm going to hide my plane now. Okay, so now that I've got a sketch, we'll do a 3-point arc. We'll grab the center of the arc and make it horizontal with the origin. Shift V, we'll go from point to point to give the wing a sort of overall thickness of, let's say, 3.75. That's more what I wanted. We'll do another arc to about here. Shift H, I'll give this horizontal dimension something like 13.5 millimeters. T for tangent, make those tangent. Shift R, we'll give that a radius of something like 99 millimeters. And Shift H again, I can go from here to this point. 57 millimeters. Oh, let's go with something like 58. Now I can go to these 2 points there. Tangent. Shift R. Actually, Shift V. I want to give this sort of a vertical dimension. Let's go with 2 millimeters. It's probably good. Shift R will make that something like, oh, I've already mentioned that, but instead of 99, I'll just make it straight 100, right? Nice round number. Shift R here, we're going to go 1,000 millimeters, and we're fully defined. So that will be our wing. I think I am going to actually up this here. From 2 millimeters, let's go down to 4 millimeters. That seems to match the profile of the wing a little bit better. So there's our wing. From here, this datum plane, and grab that point there. Okay. And next, create a sketch on that datum plane. Oh, we're editing an existing sketch, so highlight that sketch. So now I'd like to import my edges. Import here, here, and here, assuming that the profile does not change along that stretch of the wing. I can hide my plane, and I can create a driving 3-point arc at those 2 endpoints, and I'll simply say E for equal. I'll do the same here, here, E for equal, and finally grab these 2 endpoints. I can say T for tangent, make that tangent. Tasks close, right? And now I'll want to say edit my initial sketch, because there I have all my dimensions. I'll take a screenshot. So that I can keep my profiles consistent. So I'm going to close that and sketch on a datum plane there. And there I go. I'm going to going to go back to my right plane, which is almost normal. And I'm going to keep on sketching. So I don't really need any views right now. I'm going to hide my views, hide my plane. So I'm going to go to my left view just so that this stuff is selectable. And it looks like 3.75 millimeters was my height. My horizontal distance is 13.5 here. I'll choose an arc down here. That from here to here goes 58 millimeters. I'll choose T for tangent. Then I can make my midpoint and my origin horizontal. I'll choose a vertical dimension. From this point to my origin, we're going to make that our standard 4 millimeters. Shift R, we'll make that our straight 100 millimeters. And add in another arc here. That we're going to make 1,000 millimeters. T for tangent. We're fully constrained. Back to ISO. Tasks and close. So when I show my top view, that's what we're doing so far, and we seem to match the top view reasonably well. The next thing is we're at this sweet spot where we're going to want to reduce our rear length and our front length a little bit and end up right here. So let's make another datum plane. This time I'll make a datum plane. If I show this one and have it selected, I can move on the... Oh, I'm editing my datum plane though. So if I go to an isometric view, highlight this datum plane, well, highlight nothing, select this datum plane, and then click on this datum plane, I can come out on the z-axis. When I flip sides, I can go to my top view, and I can move this datum plane. Right about there-ish. I go to my front view and show my front view. Perhaps a little bit further. How about my top view? So I'll move this plane out. Right about there. So we want to just get the wingtip. Maybe even a little bit further. Well, no. Right about there. Right, so we move this plane a total of 73 millimeters offset from this other plane. We're going to hide that with the space bar, and we're going to go ahead and sketch this profile. Start off making a 3-point arc and go to my model, hide my plane, and show my side view. Shift V, we want the wing to be narrower at this point. I'm going to try by going with something like 1.75 millimeters. Grab our arc center. I'll make it coincident to this axis. Just like that. I'll just go to the front view, and we seem to match the height of the wing pretty well in that view, so 1.75 isn't bad. From here, I need to make another arc. Perhaps we'll shift V and vary this up just a little bit. We'll go 1 millimeter instead of 4 so that the wing flattens out. T for tangent. Right there. Shift R. I'm going to keep a consistent radius of 100 millimeters. And there we go. From the top view, my arc needs to move forward just a bit. And we'll move it back just a hair from the top view, maybe back a little bit further. Top view, that's probably about right. We'll go back to the normal view of our sketch. Shift H to set that distance. Looks like it's going to be 7.08 millimeters. And do another 3-point arc there. Shift R. I'll keep that consistent at 1000. T for tangent, just to make sure that these are already tangent. And now I need to set my back distance. So we'll go back to the top view. And there. So we'll shift H for a horizontal dimension there. And I'll just say straight 34. There's our top view again, looks good. Tasks close. Alright. Now this extra curvature here is a little bit of a challenge. I think it always will be, but I'll be able to get through it, no problem. So the next thing we'll do is highlight this datum plane, and I gotta cancel that though. I keep forgetting highlight nothing. So I'm going to show datum plane 007, make sure nothing is highlighted. Click datum plane and click on datum plane 007. I can go to my, actually this view should be fine. I'll offset this just a hair. Let's go with an even 10 millimeters. And sketch on my datum plane. Actually, I'll hide this and now sketch, and hide this with the space bar, and delete the other sketch that I've made. Apparently it won't let me in a sketch, so we'll just delete And now we should be in sketch 12. Last sketch was 1.75 millimeters, and we're rapidly decreasing our wing distance, so we can select these 2 points. Shift V, how about 1.25 millimeters? Oh, and I've gotten out of my sketch, so let's get back into it. I did not want that automatic tangent added, so I'll delete it, and T for tangent up here. This will be horizontal to the origin of the sketch. T for tangent. There we go. Shift R, 100. Shift R again. 1000. From here to the origin, Shift V. We're going to make that probably an even 1 millimeter again, and I've gotten out of my sketch again. Next. We better drag that to the right spot, so let's go to the top view. If it will let me select that point. Trying to work this point as far down as possible, but I have to zoom in order to get it to move down. Seems like it wants to select the relation more than the point. We're almost there. Come on, let me select that point. So let's call that good. We're going to get normal. Shift H. So 5.1. What happened there? Let's Control Z. And we are tangent on both sides. So Shift H. I'm just going to do this dimensionally, I guess. Negative 10 millimeters gives us a distance. Let's see if that's any good. So we'll call that negative 30. Top view. Negative 30 is close. Negative 25, top view, even closer. Negative 27, top view. That's about right. So we're going to close that. Next, and this will be the last one if you're not already in Paint. Create a datum plane and put it right on that point, which is normal to the line as always. We're going to create a sketch. I'm going to create a very small profile, right? Very small. I'm going to say horizontal. Horizontal there. I'm going to go straight vertical here. And I'm going to go with 10. Really, really small. I'm going to go tangent. I'm going to merge for simplicity. We want this to be a simple sketch. tangent, there to there. You go vertical, horizontal, Shift H, about 10 again, really small. What are we lacking? Here and here we'll say equal, and it looks like that did it. Alright, so we'll hide this plane. Now watch what happens when we go to loft this. Because this is probably a good troubleshooting here. I'm gonna hide my datum plane first off and hide this body. And actually cancel both because I need to have this highlighted, additive loft. We're going to add section here. We're going to add section here. We're going to add section here. I mean, so far so good. Add section here. There's my little sketch. Add section here. Actually, that's not bad. That's really close. So I probably need to move this back a little bit and see how that goes. But other than that, that's actually a pretty clean loft. I might just accept that how it is, because that's a good wing, being able to do that in one loft. I will tell you right now, it doesn't always go that smooth. I did something magical here. So prior to me trying this loft in my first run in this one, I could not get it in one loft. I had to do several lofts. So if you have the same thing, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did, because I was planning on doing it like this anyways. So I go to my Fusion, alright, so here are my lofts. Now so I first did this loft, and then I did this loft, and then I did this loft in multiple pieces, and I did a lot more sketches. So there's 4 sketches there that helped with the curve, and then I did these sketches for my next loft, and then I did these sketches for my next loft. So food for thought, that's another way to do it if it doesn't come out in one smooth loft for you. I'm really impressed by that. Let's try to go to sketch 13. That's our little sketch right there. Let's edit the sketch. And if I take off a few constraints, take off this vertical constraint, or take off that horizontal constraint, take off that constraint. So now we can free float a little bit. We're going to make all these vertical, horizontal, and now it should just be a constrained sketch that can move freely. So we're going to say Shift H. Let's move that, say 10 millimeters. Let's go trimetric and close the sketch. And yeah, you know, that's really not bad. Front view seem to match your wing profile pretty well. Although we get that kind of annoying, it's almost like an S shape. So let's go to top view. And that's become more pronounced now that we've changed our sketch a little bit. So let's go 5 millimeters. Well, pretty cool that worked in one sketch, or one loft. Next thing I just want to try on this wing is to delete this loft and show the sketches. And let's do a loft so that this end doesn't affect the beginning. I'm going to highlight this profile, additive loft, add section here, and here, and here. Okay. Now I'm going to highlight my last sketch there, additive loft, add section here, and there. And that did turn out smoother. That's a better loft. You can see the wing gets fat here. So I'm going to try one other thing. Delete this loft. Delete this loft. I'm going to show my, not my datum plane, but my sketches rather. Let's go isometric, additive loft to here and here. See, if I go with a ruled surface, you can match really well, but the problem is you lose your curvature, right? You get sharp edges at your transition points to your sketch, so you don't want to do that. So I'm going to go here and OK, and then choose the last sketch. Here, and oh, let me make sure my sketch is highlighted. Sketch, additive loft, add section to there. That's basically ruled. And then additive loft. We're going to highlight the sketch there, add section, add section, now if we view from the front, yeah, we know that that's perfectly straight from one edge to another, and then it continues on from the top. So I think that's my favorite. There's pros and cons, but I think that that's probably my favorite wing. So let's trimetric or isometric. We're going to choose mirror. We're going to choose additive loft 2. We'll choose the YZ plane. Okay. I'll mirror additive loft 3. We'll go across the YZ plane again. We'll mirror additive loft 4. Go across the YZ plane. Okay. So that's our Corsair wing. We did a lot of experimenting and troubleshooting in this. That was pretty cool that FreeCAD works so well. And in the next one, let's cover some of the details. Maybe in one go we can do the propeller, the tails, and then maybe in the video after that we'll do the canopy and some of their details. If this video was helpful, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.